Hello, I am back. I was pretty sure that I was going to be down for at least a week or more, which is why I posted on there probably wouldn't be videos coming. So I'm just going to tell you about my last couple days and why I thought that I wouldn't be putting out videos for a while. So I woke up Sunday and went to get up and realized I could barely stand. My right foot felt like it was broke. I mean, the bottom right side of my foot just felt, like it was broke. And I didn't know what was going on, and I could barely get around, barely get to the bathroom. And I was like, holy crap, what is going on? But it's Sunday, so, unless I go to an ER, ain't much I can do. And I'm like, I didn't trip over nothing, and I didn't bang my foot on anything for it to be broke. So I didn't know what was going on. So at some point during Sunday evening, it kind of eased up. It was still hurting, but I could walk a lot better on it. So I thought, I don't know, maybe I sprained it or twisted it weird or something, and maybe it would just go away. So I went to bed Sunday night hoping when I woke up Monday, today, I was like, hopefully I'll go to sleep. When I wake up, it'll be where I can walk better. Well, I got up around 8:30 in the morning because I had to go to the bathroom, and it was worse. Like, I barely could get from my bed to the bathroom, which, it's not far. It's like 6 feet from my bed to the bathroom. And, I was dragging my right foot, was barely able to step. And I'm like, something bad's going on. But I was like, I don't remember doing anything that could have broke it. So I don't know. I had no idea what could have caused it. And I got to thinking that the bottom and the side of my foot was red, and it felt hot like a fever. And I get cellulitis from time to time in my left leg, and that's how it does. It gets red and hot. And I remember that Sunday night when I was laying down to go to bed, I was shivering. And I do that a lot when I got cellulitis in my leg, because the fever just made me shiver. But I thought I was just cold last night because I keep my air on like 68 or 69, which is still a little chilly, but if I turn it up to 70, then I'm sweating and I can't sleep. So I was like, maybe I'm just a little chilly, but noticing that it was red and hot, I was like, maybe it's cellulitis in my foot, because it was kind of acting the way my leg does. It only hurt when I stood on it, put pressure on it. And man, cellulitis it's a pain. The first time I got cellulitis, me and my cousin was going out for Halloween to hang out. We were going to go see a band downtown Memphis called Egypt Central. And my leg just felt like it had this constant cramp in it. And it was red and it was hot. And every time I stood, it just felt like my skin was so tight, it felt like it was just going to burst. I didn't know what was going on because I'd never had it before. And so we're hanging around like the Bartlett area, and I'm thinking, man, I don't want to go downtown and stand up and watch no concert. And finally my cousin was like, do you really feel like going downtown and seeing this concert? And I was like, no. She was like, me either. So we went and saw the Zack and Miri movie from Kevin Smith instead. And just my leg was just, it stayed that way until the next day. And I was working at the video store, and I started shaking, just shivering, and I couldn't stop. And it wasn't even like that cold. It was, the end of October. So, I mean, it wasn't cold enough for me to be shivering that bad. And I went to the ER. And this was when Summerville still had a hospital. And I went to the ER, and there was a doctor there named Mitchell. And to this day, I wouldn't send anybody to see this doctor. I go to the ER, he don't even look at my leg, nothing. Tells me I got low potassium. Tells me to take potassium pills. Now the thing is, if you're not low on potassium and you just start taking potassium pills, that can mess up your heart. So, thank goodness I didn't take any potassium pills, but I'm at the video store the next day, and that fever hits again and I start shaking. And there's a customer that comes in, and I knew he was a nurse. Rod is his name. And he comes in, and I'm shaking. He's like, "Are you alright, man?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know." I said, "Here, look at my leg, see what you think." And as soon as he saw my leg, he goes, "That's cellulitis. That's an infection. That can spread to your heart. You need to get to the doctor right now." So instead of going to the ER and dealing with crazy Dr. Mitchell again, I went to my regular doctor. And he's like, "Yeah, that's cellulitis. We got to give you antibiotics." And I said, "Well, what's cellulitis? Like, what is it?" And he goes, "It's an infection in your fat cells." And I'm a big dude, and I go, "Oh no, it's an ambush." And he starts laughing, I start laughing, because I'm crazy no matter if I'm sick or not. But so, ever since then, ever so often, I'd get a flare-up of cellulitis in my left leg. And it got to where I could just tell that that's what it was, because I'd get this cramping feeling in the back of my leg. And I would head straight for the ER or the doctor, because I knew within like less than an hour I was finna start shaking. It's gotten to the point where I'm so feverish I'll be hallucinating. I mean, it gets pretty bad. But I've only ever had it in my left leg, so this is my right foot. And so I wake up Saturday and I can't even hardly stand up. I'm like, I didn't think I was gonna be able to even go to the bathroom on it. And I got like these wood panel kind of floors that feels like concrete underneath it. So I can't really crawl anywhere, because I have bad legs anyway, and crawling's gonna tear my knees up. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna get around, and I'm freaking out. Because I'm like, I got to get to the doctor some kind of way, but I don't know if I can walk 2 steps from my bed. So I'm like, oh man. Well, finally I get to where I can like step and scoot until I can finally get to the bathroom. And like, this is 8:30 in the morning, so I'm not staying up this early, so I go back to sleep. And I get up around 11:30 or so, and it's still to where I can just barely walk. And like, I gotta get something to drink to take my morning medicine with. So I gotta get all the way to the kitchen, and that's the furthest place from my bed. And I'm like, oh crap. So it takes me a good 30-40 minutes of just standing there and trying to get my foot used to pressure on it to where I can even just start making my way to the kitchen to get a drink. So I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get all the way around to where my Durango is to drive anywhere to any kind of doctor. So I messaged my mom. I'm like, can you take me to the doctor today? Because I can't walk. So she's like, yeah, she was helping her mom out. My grandma, who's seems like she's got dementia and everything, so she's talking out of her head here lately, and so she's got to get her situated and calm down. I can't call my dad because he would take me, but right now he's kind of quarantined just in case on this COVID mess. So I kind of really gotta depend on my mom, and of course she comes through, and we started to go to my regular doctor, but that parking lot was packed. So we go to the urgent care in Oakland, which is the next town over. And they're pretty swift. Like, you get in and out there pretty good. So, and we're heading over there, and I'm like, I think this might be cellulitis. And she's like, yeah, it probably is, because, I mean, how would your foot just all of a sudden break? You didn't trip, you didn't bang it on nothing. I'm like, yeah. I said, plus it's red and hot, and I had taken both my ankle braces, because where it was hurting, where I put my ankle brace on, it was hurting kind of where my ankle brace ended. So I took my other ankle brace from my other ankle and just stuck my toes through the heel of it, and wrapped it around the front of my foot real tight. Because I didn't know if it was broke, and I was like, I need something holding this together, because I don't want to be walking and it just give out. So, but yeah, I was telling her, I'm like, yeah, it's red and hot, and I was shivering last night. So it really seems like cellulitis. So we get to urgent care, and like, they like for you to stay outside until they're ready for you with this COVID stuff going on. So I've got my mask with me, and she goes in and takes on my driver's license and insurance. And, they tell me they'll wave me in when they're ready. Well, they call me, say, come on in. So I put my mask on and go in, and with COVID, Mom can't come back there with me. And so I'm sitting there a while. Finally, the doctor comes in, has me take my shoe and all the ankle braces off and my sock. And she looks at it and says it's either cellulitis or gout, which I've never had gout, and normally gout is in the big toe, and this is on the opposite side of my foot. But I'm like, whatever, let's just find out what it is. So they take blood and try and figure out if it's an infection or whatever. And I'm like, so you don't think it's broke? And she was like, why'd you trip? I'm like, no, I'm just, do you think it's broke? She's like, I don't think so, but we'll give you an x-ray. So they have me walk down the hall to do the x-ray, and going toward the x-ray, I noticed it's kind of loosened up again where I can walk a little bit better. So at this point, even I'm thinking it's probably not broke, because then, why would it ease up and I can walk better from time to time? If it was broke, it hurt the same regardless. So anyway, I go get my x-rays, they take blood, and she comes in there and she's like, we're just going to go ahead and treat you for cellulitis and gout just in case. Because taking stuff for gout ain't going to hurt you if it's not gout. I'm like, alright, whatever. And then she's like, we're going to give you a shot of antibiotics and a pain shot. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Well, they got to give me these shots in my hip. I already don't like shots. I don't even like getting blood drawn. And they got to give me a shot in each thigh, pretty much. And it's in the muscle, and it hurts like a mug. The pain shot felt like concrete going into my muscle. And then the antibiotic, it didn't feel much better, but it wasn't as bad. But just after that antibiotic shot, it was already, like, within 30-40 minutes, it already felt like it was easing up. But they sent me 3 prescriptions, asked me where I wanted them. I said Landry's, in the town I live in. But they said okay. So they gave me 3 prescriptions, antibiotic for cellulitis, these 3 pills that you take all 3 of them within an hour for gout, and then some cream to put on my foot and stuff. And so we go to Landry's, which they said it'd be about 15 minutes, so it takes about 15 minutes to get to Landry's anyway. So we go to Landry's, and they ain't called it in yet. We're like, what? And it's already at like right about 4 o'clock, and they close at 5:30. So we're like, what the heck? So I call the urgent care, and they're like, oh, we sent it to Walmart in Oakland, which is, the next town over where urgent care is. I'm like, what? No, I said send it to Landry. So they're like, all right, we're going to send it to Landry's. Which Landry's do you want it sent to? do you want it to sent to the regular Landry's or the new one, Landry's East? I'm like, the regular Landry's. I said, okay. So we went down the street where I can get a drink and kill some time, come back to Landry's, go to the window. They said they still ain't called it in. I'm like, what? So I call urgent care again, said, hey, I'm at Landry's. They still haven't got it. And then the lady goes, oh, we sent it to Landry's East. I'm like, what? But luckily that's still at least in the same town. So we go to that Landry's. And as we're waiting at the window, the owner of Landry's, at that Landry's, calls me. I was like, hey, we got prescriptions for you sent here. I'm like, yeah, we're in line behind this Dodge Charger. So we're almost at the window. She's like, okay, because you usually get your prescriptions at the other place. I didn't know if you even wanted to pick them up here. I'm like, yeah, they messed up and sent them there, but, we'll get them here. It's fine. So then we get to the window. And they come to the window and said, we can't fill them because Walmart has filled them and billed your insurance. So you got to call Walmart and tell them to unbill it so we can fill them and your insurance will pay for it. I'm like, oh my God. So they tell us to park out front. So we park out front. I call Walmart. Finally get through to them after 2 or 3 times trying to call them because my phone keeps acting up. Finally talk to somebody. Tell them, look, urgent care accidentally sent y'all a prescription. You filled it and billed my insurance. I need you to unbill it. And he finds what's gone wrong and fixes it. So we go back around the building and I finally get my medicine. So now I've taken the gout medication, even though I don't think it's gout. Taken my first dose of antibiotics. And I used the ointment they gave me. And right now I'm getting around a lot better. So hopefully I'm headed toward being in the clear. And I hope I never get cellulitis in my foot again, because man, this hurt worse than anything in the world. The only thing I compare it to is when I was younger, I woke up and couldn't walk. Almost like, this weekend. But at that time, it was 2 bones in my ankle had fused together, and I had to have 2 different surgeries where they had to separate them, because after they separated the first time, they fused together again. So then they had to separate them and put screws or something to keep them separated. I don't know. But I have never been through this much pain in my life. So there you go. That is the story of how my right foot just turned against me this weekend, and I didn't know what was going on and if I was going to be well enough to do videos or anything. So hopefully I'm back. Tomorrow I'm going to try and do either a movie review or another true crime thing, something. But, so anyway, here's the video that I didn't think I'd be making today, because I thought I was going to be down for a while. But I'm good. I'm back. Everything should be going good from now on. Knock on wood, hopefully. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with either a movie review or another true crime or something. Alright, anyway, thank you. Please like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks.